Coin toss. Hello and a very warm welcome to APK Media Interview. I'm James APK. Glad you're with us today. Today I'll be talking with a dancer who had made his first debut on BattleFest, which is not more than just a week ago. That happened over in Brooklyn, New York at the Flex Dance Program. Hundreds and thousands of people from across the country watched the battles that took part at the event. But for one dancer, of course, it was his first ever event. Well, let's not waste any time. I want to give a warm welcome to Isryel, also known as Izzy. Izzy, thank you so much for talking with us and joining us today here on APK Media Interview. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well, man. I just been, just relaxing, just getting back into the flow of things after the fest, and just getting back into my training too.
It's understandable. We're going to talk about the fest later in this program, of course, but I want to start, and we're going to start from the very beginning, of course, of how things has started. Um, we want um, we want to know who you are as a dancer, and also what are the movements that you do. So let's start off from the very beginning. Who is Izzy?
So, who I am, I'm Israel. So, I have Israel PTG because my name Israel means Prince to God. So that's what the PTG stands for. I've been dancing for about like 12 years now, since 2011. Was born out in New York, but raised in Germantown, Maryland. Came out here when I was 18 in 2013. So from there, I've been like just street performing, doing performances at various locations in New York City. I had joined the Showtime NYC for a period of time, which is a dance company located in NYC. And I've been a part of hip hop history twice with this company, performing at the Met Museum, being the first hip hop dancers to ever perform there. Also in the Armor, and this was in 2018. Also performing at the Supreme Court House in One Century Boulevard, being the first dancers to ever do that, to just change the perspective on street dancers so that they're not looking at it as like we're just a bunch of like gangsters or just like people that just cause trouble. We're artists, we're trying to present ourselves. So also, I have been able to perform in various locations overseas as well, internationally. Prior to COVID, I was in Amsterdam. I had performed for the royal family out there in the Royal Palace, and also in 2018 as well. Well, I was in 2017, 2018. I went to Paris. I performed there at CND, and also did some of the workshops. I had a 2-week residency there, and then the last one I did overseas was in Brussels in 2020, right before the pandemic. I was at the Royal Theatre, and I had performed there for about 2.5 weeks. And as far as my dance style goes, I do flexing, guaca, and a bunch of other styles. Like I do house, whacking, popping, locking. I do a little bit of breaking as well, some Afro styles, contemporary ballet. Just a mixture of everything I've been learning. I got exposed to a lot of stuff, especially being within in Showtime and just being in the street performing culture in NYC, meeting a bunch of different dancers, and it's helped me to create my own style called spiritual empathy. So this is what you see me do when I'm dancing is spiritual empathy. It's a mixture of all those styles together into my own personal lifestyle, and I incorporate chi with my dancing. So it's supposed to invoke feeling, being able to heal, and be spiritual warfare. So that's what spiritual empathy is. I'm still building upon it as well as we're speaking, but I've had some a lot of growth with it, and yeah, that's basically a little brief summary of what I've done. I've also, oh, by the way, I've also, in terms of dance crews that I've been a part of, I didn't shout out in my history. When I started street performing, I was a Raiders of Concrete. I've also been in Styles Enough dance crew. Um, Also, shout out to Savage Ninjas before we disbanded and whatnot. But yeah, that was with me and Opium. That was the first. That was one of the first dance crews I was
Ooh.
in Germantown, Maryland, and that's way before BattleFest or anything like that. We
Right,
was
right,
just in high
right.
school.
Oh,
But
with OPM, yeah, I know. But
yeah.
real quick about that, tell me, what was it like in Maryland between Maryland and New York?
Oh, okay. Well, I would say Maryland. What like one the street dance culture is was not, at least in Germantown, wasn't like as deep and crazy as it is now. Like there was like, I remember the jerking era came around and people was
Right.
doing that, and a few people were getting into animation dancing because we seen like Nonstop. That's what got me like into dancing, was when I seen Nonstop on, it was a Pumped Up Kicks dubstep video that he did in 2011. So, everybody was doing that, trying to like emulate that kind of stuff. That's how I even learned how to do the body vibrations. Um, and But I would say like in New York City is a lot of people out here, a lot of different people who are amazing artists that like it raises the bar. Like, cause I feel like in Maryland, like it's grown now. Like, don't get me wrong, the culture out there is way different than it was when I was there in 2011. Like, I left around like 2013
Mm-hmm.
after I graduated high school, and, and it was like you know there wasn't a lot of street dancers out there. It was mostly popping. You didn't see too much flexing unless you went to like DC or something like that. Then
Mm-hmm.
that's where I seen a lot more flexers out there.
Right.
When I got to New York City, people street performing, people were like doing all types of different artists, like art forms. You go to a club, like you think you nice, you go to a club, someone from overseas come over there or some other state, and they're mad nice, and it makes you want to raise the bar. So in New York City, it makes you want to raise the bar, and the creativity level is so unique over here because it's like a melting pot of just so many different cultures and different people that are just tapping into the same frequency. So it's like I'll see something and be like, "Dang, I didn't know I could move my body like that." That's the amazing part about being so many, like seeing so many artists and so many dancers in New York City. You feel me? So
Right.
and also there's a lot going on. There's always an event. There's always like there's always like a battle going on or something for you to put yourself out there. Like in Maryland, it's a little bit slower. You gotta like look for stuff.
Right.
I will say that the culture in terms of how people act is way different. Like people are more like polite and respectful out in the DMV. I'm not, it's certain dances, that we're not all perfect, but I would say like what I experienced out here versus what I experienced out there is definitely way better, especially in terms of the shit talking and other things like that. You do have in New York, you do have to have a tough skin because people are gonna say what they're gonna say. People get aggressive, you know. But that's not like it's not like that in every single dance scene. There's other dance scenes that like that happens less. Um, but it really depends on what dancing you're in when it comes to when it just comes to like the environment in New York City. So
I got one more question. This comes from Gorilla Man himself, of course, who just sent me the question on here. He asks, "How do you stay so level-headed and humble and such aggressive in a aggressive dance culture?" If you can give a little short summary before we go on to the next question.
well, one is I like to meditate a lot, so it helps me with just staying like centered and calm. Also, like knowing that there's always room to grow, because
Mhm.
at the end of like how I was talking like about the clubs and other things like that, you would think you're nice, and then someone will come and be even nicer. But all you got to do is just see like, dang, that's just more room to grow. You feel me? And just knowing that when you're in this dance culture, people are gonna talk so much crap. Like especially like we're gonna talk about BattleFest, but a lot of people do talk. You feel
Mm-hmm.
me? And you gotta also know, and because people are nice, and they talk. You feel me? They're nice and they talk. But you got to remember that you're nice too. You're here for a reason because you're at that level, and you got to
Right.
remember what you do. Remember your training and trusting yourself and believing in yourself. It's easier said than done. I'm not gonna say I'm totally perfect at it, um, but I just try to remain like centered in that, and just like you don't have to talk shit. It's more so in the artistry, like what you do when you actually get in the field. You feel me? Because a lot of people can talk, but a lot of people can't walk the walk. You feel me? So
Absolutely. Indeed. I want to go ahead on the next question, of course, BattleFest. On July 23rd, 2023, it was known as the Up It tournament that took place over at the Flex Dance program. There was a lot of set of battles. There was the top eight battles. You were part of the top eight battles. Your top eight battles selected was you versus Sinjin of Arizona. And I want to go ahead because I know there's going to be a lot of people who are going to watch this and want to hear your intake on the matter. And so, what was it like that day on July 23rd when you went to BattleFest for the very first time and debuted it?
well, I mean, it was a lot of energy. You feel me? A lot of different people on different sides. I had people that came there to support, and then some people that were looking to see me lose. You feel me? So you have that. There's bets on the line, so it's that pressure. Um, there's also, it's also the first time you being there, and like everybody else is like gotten comfortable because they've been on that platform a couple of times, and just battling Sinjin was it was cool. Like I I seen Sinjin from the times that he was in the jerking movement. You feel me to now. So it was cool being able to battle him. Um, I definitely I, I definitely could see like how I would operate in that energy again, like given the opportunity to be able to battle at the fest again and just be able to know that the third round song choice is key. You know what I mean? But at the same time, though, I had to tune a lot of people out because on my right side, man, the people were like talking like, "Yo, you lose, you done," da, da, da," like talking crazy. Just really talking crazy. You got people that walk in your rounds, talk, but you just kind of gotta like be in your bubble. You feel me? And what I from that time, I think the hardest thing was the song choice for me, because oftentimes that's more so what I have a little indecisiveness about, but it's really depending on the mood and the feeling. So um, going into that, like I appreciate all the people that were supporting me. You had people just like I had people on this side talking. I had people on the left side. Like I had people and spread out in the crowd that I could hear. And that's definitely encouraging when you have that in the crowd, because then you get to calm down a little bit. You feel me? Even if you already can do it, it does help to have that support. And it kind of brings you back to reality. But I will say that too, like knowing that like I was going against Sinjin, and I remember he did something. He pulled my hood over my head, and I was gonna choose a different song, like for my first round, but I was just like, nah, I gotta do something crazy. Now you getting bird box, and that's so that first round I definitely was charged up, and I knew I had to be aggressive. Usually, like I'm not super aggressive when I'm battling. I'm just more so just dancing, you feel me, and just like showing like my mastery and my moves, and like how I use them and sequence them, and just like do what I do. But yeah, at that time I had to be. I was like, let me be a little bit. I gotta definitely be way more aggressive. Like being in Battle Fest, especially in the flex culture, is a very aggressive dance culture. So you have to like be able to tap into that different energy. and that feeling of just being aggressive but still being controlled at the same time, because you don't want it to be like your energy to be like all over the place, but
Right, right,
just being controlled in that space, and then also believing in myself as well, because you don't know how the situation is gonna go. You feel me? You could lose, you can win. You don't know
right.
how people are gonna receive it. Even if you do lose, I'm surprised, um, and actually really grateful to the response that I've been getting from everybody after the battle. Some people look at it as a loss, but I'm looking at it as a W. You feel me? And just like seeing where I can grow. I've watched some clips of the battle. I'm gonna watch the full battle myself just to study it more. Um,
Will you do it
and
again?
oh yeah, I would definitely do it again. I'm all about it. I'm not really scared to battle people, like anybody. I'm not scared to battle anybody. But like the thing, because it's just the thing is, it's just building my it's just gaining more experience and growing. You feel me, in this field, because I did a lot of performance work. I did battle here and there before this, and then I started getting more into battling like this year, like just being more serious about it, and just like I'm gonna put myself out there. Um, so I'm just looking to grow more in this. And to grow, I'm gonna have to go against people who are gonna be great. You feel me? I'm gonna have to go against obstacles and be able to overcome these things. So I'm just looking forward to just being able to do more battles. Uh, Definitely take home some W's. You feel me? And just keep training and getting better. And I hope you guys like what you see.
Well, Izzy, it was a very good seeing you on that dance floor that day, and it was incredible. I have to give it to you. And then not only that, you went through 3 rounds of that, and I have to say it was really brave of you that day. It was very brave of you. Okay, my
Thank you
next
so much, man.
question. You're very welcome. My next question now we're going to talk about is NAV, New Age Veterans. Now,
Oh
New
yeah.
Age Veterans is a group that started by Vivid, and also you're the vice president of the group. Yes,
Yes.
and I want to ask you, could you give us what is New Age Veterans NAV? For those who don't know what that crew is, or so, because a lot of people don't seem to do not understand about this group. Could you give us a little information about what this group is all about?
So NAV stands for New Age Veterans. So we're the veterans of the new age. You feel me? We're all we're all collective of amazing artists, dancers, people who do, like you say, for instance, gay, you know, being in the news. And we were, it's funny how we started. We were a part of BSB, and we had broken off to start our own thing with NAV. You know, we have our members, Vivid, like you said. We have me, Tora, APK, uh, T Turbo, and Young Shot. So that's NAV right there, and we're a dance collective that's growing right now. We just started. It's a lot of talented individuals that you guys want to see, because we're all doing our thing. We're all serious about what we're doing. We're serious about our training. So not only that, we're focused on more than just dance, but just building each other up in different ways. So when you're part of NAV, we're not only just like going out and battling or just doing performances, but we're helping you grow. You feel me? In all areas, in terms of professionalism, how you present yourself on your social media pages, or just when you go out to events. How to network. Just different things like that. Financial literacy, and just tapping into those things. Really looking to make this into something that is more so we take care of our people. Our people are going to be treated as not only artists but athletes as well. Especially as dancers. we're athletes as well as artists. So we gotta, you see NFL players or you see other things like that. It's like they're treating their bodies really good. They're treated nice by their teams. You feel me? And because it takes a lot to do what they do, and keep that level of performance quality. So we're focused on those things and just like growing in our lifestyles, but also getting this work. You feel me? So we're about getting these performances, taking it to another level, and getting yourself in the professional state, other than just being like just being at a certain level where it's just like you're just being seen, but you're not getting much back. So that's more so that little brief thing of NAV, you know. But shout outs to us. We're doing our thing. We just started, and it's nothing. It's well, stuttering a little
It's
bit.
okay. It's okay.
Yeah, but basically, only way is up. You feel me? It's just the beginning, so you gotta just rise up and grow. So they definitely stay tuned.
Well, you know, I gotta tell you, I believe that group is going to expand one of these days, and let's hope for the best. And NAV always has my respect as always.
Hmm.
Um, I want to get your views on the dance scene in general that's going on. We see the dance community is changing. It is dramatically changing following recent events on social media and also major events that we have seen so far this year. And then the newest topic that's going around in the community is artificial intelligence, also known as AI, which is sparking major concern for many in the community as
Hmm.
well. What is your thoughts of the dance community today? Because the dance community right now, it's pretty much all over the place. What are your thoughts about it going forth as as a dancer who's been in the scene for a long period of time?
So my thoughts about it is that I'm a little worried because I don't know if the TikTok dancing and other things is gonna keep watering down the dance culture. All of course, like dance is becoming more popular, which is really awesome. You know what I mean? Like you see a lot of dance videos getting way more views, way more attention, but it's like with you got AI now that can do or copy what we do. So that could also affect us as dancers when it comes to because a lot of people are always saying like dancers are getting gypped on the pay. You feel me? And, I've dealt with it before too. People try to cut the cost of the dancer, or they pay everybody else, or they try to like not pay you and not respect you as like you part of the show. You're an artist. You feel me? So we had a lot of stuff back then. Of course, I don't know exactly how that ended, but I know that like there was even stuff with Fortnite taking dances, other stuff like that, and then dancers not getting credit or getting properly compensated for that stuff. So that's my worries on AI and just like thinking of whether or not they're gonna use it to try to cut the cost for us and give us less work or not respect us even more. However, I do see that there's a lot of promise with just some of the dancers that are coming out that are staying true to the culture, staying true to promoting what's real. You know, I just see as a collective, we just got to keep getting more savvy with this, our marketing, how we present ourselves, making ourselves look more professional, because that's what these people are doing. That are watering down the culture. Because people are always looking for you to do one of those trend dances. Like if you're just in public, or even like sometimes even like stuff like Red Bull, I see like people almost seem like they have to be forced to like do some of those dances to get the crowd like hype when they should just be able to just dance and do their thing. You feel me? Like really, like it kind of what have like some people hit it nice. You feel me? Like because we could dance, we could hit that nice, but it seems almost like they had to water it, what they had to do down. Versus what I see them do when I look at their content or I see them in person at like regular street dance battles. It's like the community because they're not understanding this. when we go out to like Red Bull or some other places, like people that don't really dance or just do the TikTok dances, they're actually missing out because of the fact that they're watering down. People can't actually do what they do that's raw. They're missing on the rawness, and that's where the real creativity is. And these dance battles, like at these big events, will be like skyrocketed if you just allow for that and let real be real. You feel me? Also, you know, in terms of just we got a lot of gatekeepers as well. So, um, I would just say like we gotta let more people who are definitely nice into these arenas. There's more people out here that are really talented that just needs to just be seen. You feel me? Given a chance.
Right.
So, I would say we definitely need to just make room for that. It just doesn't mean that the old people there's no space for y'all. You feel me? For new people if new people come in, it's just like there's space for everybody. You feel me? Everybody's gonna shine, and if you really nice, you're gonna keep your titles. You feel me? You're gonna keep training, and you're gonna do what you gotta do to keep up with the times and whatnot. Because that's what we gotta do as new people. We gotta be able to keep up with the times, be able to keep up with what y'all doing, and reach that level and surpass it. You feel me? So that's what we gotta do, and that's how the dance culture is gonna continue to grow. If people just going from one person is here, then the other person is like boom, and then that person's like, oh, no, I gotta go train. Boom. Now you're seeing just a bunch of new stuff. You feel me? Instead of just trying
Right.
to keep the culture where it's at. So,
But how do
um,
you feel about
yeah,
the politics in the dance community? Does it does more damaging? Than it does good?
I think it definitely does because although I understand the reason for politics and whatnot because it's sometimes it's crowd service, sometimes like fan service or just other things like that. People are expecting, but at the same time, though, I think it doesn't allow for the real to be shown sometimes, and it also could discourage people too, because like say for instance you battling and you're going to these battles and then you're losing because of the politics. You feel me? Like we all seen battles where people get swindled, or we're like, what? How did they lose? You feel me? We all seen battles like that. I'm not saying any battle event in particular, but I just seen it throughout my dance career. We all seen it before and whatnot, so we can't act like we ain't seen that. So it's just like you know, let the person prove why they there. You feel me? If it's the politics and people talking about them, if it's gonna be an upset, let it be an upset if the person lose. You feel me? If they genuinely lost, that's just you're only stopping them from you're hurting the person you're hurting two people. You're hurting the person that you're swindling, and you're hurting the
Mm,
person that you're giving the win to, because the person you're swindling is gonna might just now just be like, no, I'm not battling no more. I'm cut the battling because I can't. You have to pay to get in these events. You have to train. You have to do.
right.
And it's like if you just go there to get to know you won, but get swindled and you're not getting recognition, and people not giving you respect. You feel me? Because you lost. Is discouraging for some people. Some people don't have that thick skin to keep on going. You feel me? So you sometimes they might be really creative. You feel me? Something that people really need to see, but you're not giving them that light. So now the culture missed out on that. You feel me? Then two, the person that you're giving the win, you're not helping them grow. You'll keep enabling them to stay at the same level because you're not letting them naturally lose and go through their own challenges the right way that they need to do. They go through it so they can change and grow and evolve. You feel me? If I feel like I'm the best, I'm not gonna feel like I have to grow. You feel me? I mean, not everybody, but most people are not gonna feel like they gotta grow or they have to do something. It's not that extra fire. But if you see someone coming up on your ass, or you got that moment of humility where you lost, and when that now it grounds you. So you're like, oh dang, wow, I need to train. So now you can show them another aspect of yourself that's even greater than what you've been showing. So that's why I feel like politics often more than so hurts the dance community than helps the dance community.
Some powerful words from you, Izzy, on this. Very impressive on on the aspect. Now we're going to get to the final portion of the interview. We're at the final. This we did a good job doing this today. You said some very powerful words today. Of course, we we went we pretty much went through it smoothly today. but
Yeah.
um, but I want to get to the final portion of this interview. What are your hopes and thoughts for the dance community in the future? Because we're already getting ready to leave 23. We're about to go into the historic year 2024. What are
hmm
your hopes that people would learn from you as a dancer
Well,
and as a person who's been in the field, and what are your thoughts that you want to give, your final thoughts?
one. All right. So what I see in my hopes for the dance community, I hope that we're able to reach a level where we're not just at the highest level of C-list celebrity, you feel me? But we can be A-listers. We deserve that. I also want us to be treated like with a certain level of respect where Olympic stars. I see it with breaking. The doors open. You feel me? So, and then also with BattleFest, it was very unique. I could see that becoming like something like almost like how people bet on fights, like actual championship fights, in like in boxing or MMA or something like that, and it's millions of dollars. I could see it. I could see it going in that direction. And really changing a lot of dancers' lives and making us get certain respect. People bring it to the dance world, bringing people to the dance world that usually might not have even seen it. You feel me? Caffeine is a good thing. You feel me? I see other events doing other things that are really great too, and then teaming up, becoming more business savvy. So um, I want I want from people watching me, you know, to be able to look at dance in a whole another way that's more esoteric. You feel me? When I mean esoteric, because it's exoteric and esoteric. Exoteric is more what the general public knows. Esoteric is more the secret knowledge. You feel me? And just knowing that like our ancestors used dance for a lot of different things. You know, and we have a lot of life force energy within us that we can use in different ways. In terms of like the geometries in the body. We tut. The Egyptians used to tut for a reason. It's like this is a 90-degree angle right here. You feel me? It makes a square. The square had a certain meaning to it, a certain energy it gave off. Triangle. You make angles with your body, and it creates pictures that can give off energy. You know, and just being able to intentionally know how to utilize that energy and be able to give your audience what they need. Not what you want to just show them, but what you need, what they need. Channeling through the Most High. You feel me? And letting spirit just move you and guide you to what you need to do. You feel me? It's so much more powerful and deeper than we think. There's a lot of energy vibrating from us when we dance, because movement raises the vibration of energy. I also want people to tap into what's unique to them. Everybody has a unique way of moving. And, we don't have to look like everybody else when we're dancing. Tap into that character, tap into your unique mannerisms and how you move. Yeah, we could do flexing, we do bruck up, we could do house, but you don't have to look like every bruck up flexor, house dancer, whacker. You can change it up and do your own thing. Just definitely respect the techniques. Respect the history. Like actually learn the style that you're doing, but don't be afraid to create your own stuff. Don't be afraid to pioneer something. That's what I'm doing with spiritual empathy, and most of that is just like it's homage to all the styles that I've learned, but it's really also me tapping into what's unique about me and how I uniquely move, and also tapping into what I was just talking about, the esoterics within dance. And just being able to play more. Be in that place that it doesn't always have to be serious. When you play with something, the creativity comes. You're creative when you play. So just tapping into that, and then also taking care of your body. A lot of dancers, like I keep repeating in this interview with athletes, you know, eat healthy. You know, like I'm personally plant based. I'm all like I don't eat nothing from an animal. You know, I
Right.
could go into the benefits of that, but it's your choice on whether you want to do that. But just make sure you're taking care of your body. You know, exercise. You know, make sure you're getting your cardio in. You know, exercise your mind because it's a mental thing too. You know, the more you expand, the more you will expand in your dancing. You feel me? Because you'll think about things differently. Be able to tap into other styles too. You know, don't just stick to one style. You know, that's only one aspect of yourself. You know, it teaches you how to unlock your feet. You should learn different styles, like say for instance, house, beat your feet, other things like that. It teaches you how to use your lower body in a different way, use your levels, you know, like get into but then when you go back into your main style, you can look at it different, even more differently than you did back then because you have a broader range of movement and you know how to hit beats differently. So just a food for thought, you know, and I hope you guys, you know, I have definitely will be attaining more scrolls and just more things that on my journey, and I definitely wouldn't mind sharing, you know, and I hope you guys get inspired by the journey and inspired to just do you know, and be yourself, and don't let no one try to keep you in a box. And when yeah, be afraid, don't be afraid to go against the grain. So only some balanced vibrations.
Izzy, thank you so much for talking with us today. But staying by for just for a moment, but because we're getting ready to close out the this APK Media interview. But overall, thank you guys so much for tuning in here on APK Media. If you want to see more of Izzy, make sure you follow him on Instagram at IsraelPTG on Instagram. Is that correct, Izzy?
Yes, Israel
He's
PTG.
TG, yes, on
Yeah.
Instagram for more content and everything, of course. But other than that, thank you guys so much for tuning in on the APK Media interview today. But for right now, coming up next is the latest news on the dance world and entertainment on Instagram at APK Media 24/7. But for right now, everybody, until next time, take care, stay tuned. Bye bye, everyone.
Peace.
Coin toss.
What you say?